So if I'm sat listening to this conversation right now and I'm sat next to somebody and
Yeah.
I'm like, I think they might be a narcissist.
Oh, no. Yes.
And I'll turn to them now. So if you're sat next to someone who thinks a narcissist, just turn to them and say, hey, we should do this personality test on Vanessa's website. What score on the personality test would I be looking for to spot a narcissist?
Oh, goodness.
What would it look
Okay,
like?
so narcissists tend to be higher in extroversion. They typically love to be around people because it feeds their narcissism. Again, that does not mean that all extroverts are narcissists. I don't know about conscientiousness. I don't know if that correlates. Typically, narcissists are lower in agreeableness because they believe in themselves so much that they're like, I don't need people to agree with me. I'm totally great by myself. Typically, they're lower in neuroticism because they don't worry. They're like, everyone likes me. I'm so great. Why should I be worried? And I don't know about openness. So luckily, whatever their answer is, you don't have to be too worried, but you do want to have a conversation that goes like this. I see that you're really low in neuroticism, which means you don't worry about things. When has that served you and when has that not served you? The most important thing about personality is first, analyzing yourself, knowing where you fall. Second is analyzing someone else. How do they fit with you? And the last step is, do you optimize or compromise? A narcissist will not compromise with you. So you'll find out if they're a narcissist if, as you talk about the compromises, they won't. When they talk about how they're neurotic, they never had a problem with it. Oh, their agreeableness, it's always been great. Oh, their extroversion, they're perfect. Their conscientiousness, they do everything right. They've never made a mistake. Their openness, their way is the better way. A narcissist typically believes their personality traits are perfect, typically. So it's actually not their score, it's how they relate to the score.
Interesting.
That should be a red flag.
And you said at the start of the conversation, certain personality traits correlate with longevity.
Yes, they've studied this. So you want to guess which personality traits live the longest?
Well, I'd say if you're high conscientious, then you're going to live pretty long.
Number one.
Because you're not going to take many risks. You're not going to fuck
But
up.
there's a close second.
Health.
So high conscientious people are very good at habits, exercising, brushing teeth, taking their medication. And there's one more that correlates to longevity.
I'm going to say high extroversion.
Yes.
Because you make more friends.
That's it.
You have a partner.
That's it. So if you are a high extrovert, you have a support system, you invest in your support system, and you're getting a constant dose of oxytocin and serotonin, which makes you feel so good, which makes you feel belonging, which means you seek out people when you needed help.
So who
you want advice?
Extroverts live longer.
Yeah. Extroverts and high conscious people live longer. You want to know who lives the shortest? Can you guess?
You tell me.
The people who live the shortest, who have the lowest lifespan, are high neurotics. We worry ourselves to death. We have more chronic stress, more anxiety, and more depression. So neurotics have an issue, and this is me. We have a problem with our serotonin, right? Serotonin is very complicated. There's doing a lot of research on this. If I don't produce as much serotonin, and I produce it more slowly, I am having far more negative experiences than the same person in the room. Like if I'm in a car and we almost get in a car accident and I'm the high neurotic, that affects me all day long. I'm like jittery and jumpy all day. And people earlier are like, what are you talking about? We didn't even get in an accident. It's because their serotonin kicked in right away, began producing. They're like, oh, we're good. Whereas mine is like a slow, faltering car. It's like.
I know people like that. I feel sorry for them.
Exactly. And they don't live as long. So I am working very, very hard in my life to, one, dial up my extroversion to have a really strong support system because I know that supports me both mentally and longevity-wise. But I'm also working on how to curb my neuroticism, to dial down my worry, to know that it's not an investment in worry prevention. Worrying more does not prevent bad things from happening, but having resilience does.
What about optimism and pessimism?
You know, optimism is not a part of the personality spectrum. However, high neurotics tend to be more pessimistic.
Okay, so
right? So the more you worry, the more you think bad things will happen.
Did you hear about that study? A study in 2015 where they looked at the blood test results of extroverts, found that they had stronger immune responses than introverts.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't that make so much sense? So extroverts, there's a lot of things happening for extroverts. One is they're exposing themselves to lots of different immune systems. So they're getting more antibodies by exposing themselves to lots of different immune systems. But two, when they're with people, they're happier. If you're an introvert and you're with someone and you're unhappy and stressed, your cortisol is up, your adrenaline is up, you're not having as good of a time. Whereas an extrovert is getting all this energy, getting all this dopamine, which is fueling them, which is making them feel better, which makes them stronger.
I was reading about something a couple of years ago as well that showed that if you have stronger social connections, it's like an insulator of stress.
Yes.
So, but if you're lonely and you experience stress, you physiologically feel it worse.
It's stress insurance.
Yeah.
Like investing in your friendships, the reason why I talk about it so much, it is stress insurance. And by the way, lifelong singles, they can predict lifelong singles. So lifelong singles, typically low in openness.
Which means?
They don't want to try new things. They don't want to go to new places. They don't want to go to new restaurants. They won't go out and meet new people because they're low in openness, low in extroversion, so they don't get energy from being around people, and they're low in conscientiousness. They can't even plan it. That is the trifecta of you're going to have a hard time meeting your friends, meeting your people, because you don't get energy from people. You're not open to meeting new people, and you cannot have follow through with trying to get the habit to get those new people. This episode is really important for those people because it means, A, you're not alone. There's other people who have this. 2, it could be your genetics at work, right? I think that sometimes people get like down on themselves for it. And I'm like, look, like it could be how you're wired. You're not set up right to be getting energy from people. Okay, we have to work on that. That means we have to find the right people in the right situation. So if I have that person, I have a lot of lifelong singles who are my students. I say, okay, we can do this. We can do this. Okay, you don't get energy from people. You're a low extrovert. Where do you get energy? Knitting. Okay. Books. Great. Hiking. Great. Extreme sports. Great. That's where I want you to hang out. I want you to get energy from the activity, not the people. So that way you're getting all this good stuff from the activity. Meeting people becomes a side effect, and it's easier to be extroverted, to fight with that extroversion, because you're like, oh, they're doing the same activity. And you don't even have to be high open. Because if you love that extreme sport, go to the same place every week at the same time, but do it all over the city.
Mm-hmm.
That way, the first time is going to be hard, but it's a ritual, it's a habit. And then whoever is coming in new, that's your app. That's you're already getting people. So there's ways to do this. You just have to invest a little bit in it. Like I truly believe that lifelong singles can find their person. They just have to be looking in the right ways.
Is it important for me to know someone else's personality type when I meet them?
When you first meet them, you don't have to know their personality right away. However, they found that you can tell many of the personality traits from a handshake. From a handshake. So like if we handshake.
I'm like overthinking it now. I'm like,
You didn't shake my hand.
I was like overthinking it because I was going to do. Okay.
What are you going to do? Don't do anything crazy.
Okay.
Like pretend that we just met.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
just pretend.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good
Hello,
to
you're
meet
right.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, so extroverts shake firmer.
I usually do this as well, so sometimes I do this.
Very good. And that's typically a mark of extroversion. So like that speaks to like a little bit higher on the scale. We tell out from a handshake of the firmness, of the length, of the amount of pumps that happen. All of those things are informing that sort of like our brains like figuring out someone's personality. So you can actually pay attention to what your instinct is. It's probably right. They've even found the weirdest, this is like the weirdest. They did a study where they observed people shaking hands and they filmed them and found that in that minute after shaking hands, almost everyone touched their nose or their face. And they found that their nasal dilation increased, meaning when we shake someone's hand, we're kind of smelling their hand. Like, I smell you. It's so weird. It's so weird, but that's what we're doing. It's because we're sussing out something about their personality. So there's a lot, I think, under the surface that we don't even realize is happening. Like, I swear that when I shake a nervous person's hand and I smell my hand, I get a little bit nervous.
Really?
Yes, like I don't like to be around nervous people because they like trigger my own nervousness.
Yeah.
Weirdest thing ever.
That's
but I
a
think
really
it's true.
interesting thing. Like you get a vibe off people when you meet them.
The vibe is real.
Yeah, it's so real, isn't it?
That's that first impression. That vibe is so real. Yes, that's why I encourage people to not go to places where they're uncomfortable, because people will pick up on that vibe. Like go places where you thrive. Like go to the activities, do the things that you actually like, because that's going to come across. It's going to affect your vibe.
This is so true. I did something the other night, actually with the team. Do you remember that thing we did the other night? I probably shouldn't say it. But I went to a place which I'm like really uncomfortable in.
Oh, why'd you do that?
Because they told me I had to go.
Jack. But you didn't like it.
I hated every minute of it.
Right, and your vibe was for sure off.
And I looked at myself in the
Cringy.
photos after. I was like, fucking hell, you're having a terrible time.
Yeah.
Like, you really don't want to
You
be
cannot hide it.
It's
It's
like my
really
little thing. I was like,
you're like terrified.
Yeah.
You're probably like really afraid.
Yeah.
So I think that like energy curation is important here.
yeah, it's so important. You can't fake it very easily, can you? When you
And
the
I don't
vibe
think
is
we
off.
should try to fake it, right? Like I would much rather you set yourself up for success than say no to the things that don't work for you.
And there's one way that I kind of understand what I think about a person is my vibe, because it's so interesting doing this podcast. I've met hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people.
Mm-hmm.
And within the first 5 seconds, I can feel them.
Yes.
And I don't know how to explain it other than, it's almost funny because I sit in my little room doing my research and then I'll come out, I walk around the corner, and within like 3 to 5 seconds, I know whether we're good to go and we're ready and we're calm and or if there's something off.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is real.
There's something off.
That is real. So when you feel that anywhere, on a date, with someone you're hiring, on a team, you should trust that feeling because it is something that we have not explained with science yet. It's pheromones, it's the shape of your face, it's the feeling of your hand in mine. There is something happening chemically, physically, and you should trust it. Like, have you ever been led astray from that?
We have a closing tradition, as you know, on this podcast where the last guest leaves a question for the next, not knowing who they're leaving it for. And the question that's been left for you is, what are you doing on a daily basis to improve the life of someone else? And how can you serve others better?
This is weird. Of course it is. I knew I wanted to write books. I actually think of myself as a writer. Like I wanted to be a writer. I've always wanted to be a writer. When I started to be a writer in 2007, social media did not exist. Your job as a writer back then was to write books, and maybe if you were lucky, you had a 3-month book tour. To be totally honest with you, I did not know I was signing up for this. I did not. If you had told me that being a writer would mean sharing videos of my home and my personal life every day, I probably wouldn't have done it. I don't love that part of my job, to be honest with you. And so I know, though, that I have to share on video every day, right? To be able to get people to read my books.
Which part of it don't you like?
All of it. I mean, all of it.
Which part do you hate the most?
Trying to synthesize something very complicated into 60 seconds. I don't like it. I think communication is very complex, but I know it's essential to boil down a tip into a hook and then a framework. And I don't love that. And so when my career started to change, like I was writing books and then it was like, oh, it's 20% of your job is marketing. Now 30% of your job is marketing. Now 50% of your job is marketing. Now writing books is 6 months of writing and the rest of your life is marketing. I did not sign up for that. So I get up every day and I post videos on my stories and on my social media, and I do that to serve. I do not do that because I like it. And if I could skip it, I would, but I can't. And it's how I'm able to write books. And so that is how I serve.
Vanessa, you are an extremely rare force in this art form.
Thank you.
You really are. I love it's so funny on the podcast when I love the conversation I have with somebody and I walk away with it feeling like I need to watch it back again and take notes because there's so many new concepts that feel so valuable to me. But then to see the way that the world reacted to you.
Oh my gosh. It was incredible.
Was like unbelievable. It was insane.
I feel like I met like 8 million new best friends. That's kind of what it felt like. I mean, as of now, I think the video is like 8 million. That doesn't even count audio.
It's the most downloaded audio episode we've ever had of all time. So it means that's probably another 6 or 7 million people or something.
And it really did feel like I found my people. Like I felt like literally it was like finding 8 million new friends where I met 8 million recovering awkward, trying to connect, trying to figure it out people who are like learners. And we were just flooded with love. And it re-energized everything that I do because I was like, I have got to help everyone. Like I have got to be more helpful. And so like it was just such a gift. Like thank you for giving me the space and asking the questions because I just have met the most amazing people.
You deserve it.
Oh.
It's a special gift.
Thanks.
It's blown my mind how desperate and hungry people are for this information.
Yes.
Vanessa, thank you so much for being here again. I really appreciate you. And thank you for you had a profound impact on our show. You brought millions of new people to our show that had never listened before. So we owe you tremendously. And thank you for what you're doing. You're a very unique person. You have all the right balance of like wisdom, articulation. You're challenging, but in the best possible way. So, and you're weird and you know you are, and you own it, which makes it admirable, endearing, and a force for change because so many other people out there are struggling to step into their own sort of weird, authentic selves. Vanessa, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
so generous with your time. It's wonderful to see you again.
Thank
And
you,
Thank you for from the gazillions of people that stopped me in the streets and in the gyms and everywhere I went and sent me messages and just like overwhelmed me with this like wave of appreciation because of that episode and shared it with their friends like crazy. Thank you on behalf of all of them too. Please keep doing what you're doing, okay?
Yeah, I will.
Thank you. If you love the Diary of a CEO brand and you watch this channel, please do me a huge favor. Become part of the 15% of the viewers on this channel that have hit the subscribe button. It helps us tremendously, and the bigger the channel gets, the bigger the guests.